good for 75.
Oh, I feel great.
Yeah, good for you.
I run.
Do you?
I'm gonna start up top and work on all these tops.
All right, guys, I passed my inspections. I got an electrical rough and a framing inspection this past week. Everything passed. I'm super excited, which means now we insulate. I've got the spray foam guys coming Monday. I just picked up some batt insulation I'm gonna put in the walls myself, and I'll explain to you why I made that decision to do spray foam in the ceilings and batt insulation in the walls, but we'll get to that next. So I work full time. I'm doing this in my spare time, which I don't have much of. I have 3 kids, they're in sports. I never have time to work on it. So I didn't do any filming of the interior work. You know, some nights I come home from work and I have an hour to work out here. So I hurry up, I come out here, I do what I need to do, and filming just kind of gets in the way and slows me down. But I'll give you guys a tour and show you what I did, explain to you what's what, and we'll go from there. So this is basically a 21-foot by 29-foot great room. Our existing house was built in 1920. It's really small. Our living room is like 20 by 12. It's tiny. So the kids are growing. We needed more space. So this is a big, great room, 17-foot high ceilings. If you guys didn't see in a previous video, go check it out. But I installed a giant beam up there by myself. That's what's supporting the whole roof. Go check that video out. So it's just a big, great room. It's a big family room, which makes the electrical rough pretty simple. I've just got a bunch of outlets around the perimeter. I've got some hi-hats, a ceiling fan, TV outlet, you know, nothing crazy. So around the bottom here, I've got 20 amp circuit for outlets. All these outlets are actually on one circuit. I think you're allowed to have up to 12 outlets per circuit. So all the outlets are on the perimeter on one circuit. I've got 3 light switches going here that control lighting for the outside deck. So I've got a light switch for hi-hats. I've got a ceiling fan in the middle for the deck. And I have another switch that's going to control sconces that are out on the wall. That's what these wires are for. They poke out, and I'm going to put sconces on the wall out there. So pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. I've got 6 hi-hats here in the upper ceiling. The wires are just poking through because I'm going to do lights that you install after the drywall. So when I put the drywall up, I'll poke a hole through the drywall, cut my hole for the hi-hats, wire them, tuck them up in there, and then they're done. All right, so we're doing a mini split in this room. This room was very difficult for me to tap into my existing house ductwork, so we decided to do a split system. Now, the split system is going to do heating and air. With the really good insulation I'm putting in here, I don't anticipate any issues. The unit is slightly oversized for the side of the room because of the cathedral ceiling. So I believe it's an 18,000 BTU unit from Mitsubishi. I did put it in myself. I love this stuff. I don't know much about HVAC, but I love construction and I love to learn. So I want to try to do most of it myself. So we'll go upstairs and I'll show you how I hooked it up. All right, so I had to hang a piece of drywall to mount the unit so I can have everything hooked up for inspections. So I've got my line sets here crimped, tied in. I did not finish wrapping the insulation around it because I need to pressure test it. And when I pressure test it, I got to leak check it. So I've got my 3/4 drain. The drain for the split unit goes right into this 3/4 pipe, goes out and down and outside the house. So up here is basically an extension of our existing house. So inside this wall is my son's bedroom. We are going to knock this wall down and extend this bedroom out to here. This will be my wife and I's bedroom. I guess kind of a master bedroom, you can call it. So this will be extension of the main bedroom. And over here is going to be a pretty big walk-in closet. We're really excited about this because our house is old, built in 1920. And back then, they didn't make big closets. They made a bunch of small rooms. So we have a big closet. It's about 12 by 10, I think. It'll be pretty nice. Big closet, plenty of room for our clothes and whatnot. So that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy here, pretty simple. I'm excited that I got my inspections because now I can start insulating and sheetrock. Sheetrocking is kind of my thing. That's what I kind of cut my teeth on when I was starting out in the construction business. Drywall, metal studs, stuff like that from my commercial background. So I'm excited to start that. I did mention spray foam and batt insulation. So my drawings call for R30 insulation in the ceilings. Now my existing house where I bumped out the second floor only has 2x8 joists or roof rafters. So in order to meet the energy codes, the architect specs for me to use spray foam. So if I'm spray foaming up there, I'm gonna might as well spray foam all the roof. Also, another reason why is my house is so old that I don't have any vented soffits. I'm sure you guys have seen the video of me building my soffits. They're solid. There's no air that comes up into the roof system. That's how they did it back in the day. I wanted to maintain that style. So I don't have vented soffits. Now you can get away with not venting your soffits if you do spray foam. Another reason I'm going with spray foam. So spray foam is gonna go in the ceiling or the roof upstairs, and I decided to do bats in the walls. Now, two reasons why I decided that. One, spray foam is very expensive, and two, the new energy code requires an R27 in the walls. So it's an R21 bat, and then the zip sheathing is another R6, which makes R27. So with bats being a lot cheaper than spray foam and still achieving an R27 in the walls, that's ultimately why I decided to do that. So that's the next step. I'm gonna start throwing this stuff in. Spray foam comes tomorrow, and then hopefully next weekend I'm sheetrocking. So I'm looking forward to that. That's not too bad. I'll just take some of this, stuff it in there. Another nice thing about using this zip sheathing is this stuff's pretty airtight, and it provides a nice insulation and seal in case you were to miss something like at an electrical box, if there was a little gap or something. It's a nice assurance. Not cheap, but it's worth it.
So when you got an outlet box here like this, you don't want to screw too close to the box because that'll put pressure on the board. And then when you start cutting it out, it's going to blow out and tear the paper. So just screw away from the box so it's a little loose. Cut the box out, and then you can screw it off. Lost a bit. There you go. I'm not screwing the tops off. I'm only screwing what I can reach from the ground, and then I'll just go back on the scaffold and screw all the tops. This way I'm not making a bunch of moves up and down. It's all about efficiency. All right, what do we got here? So when I measure these boxes like this, I'm not going dead center, because then when I plunge my router in, I have a long way to travel to hit the side of the box. So I just get a measurement close to the side. So this one I'm gonna go like 31, and it's 48 high. I know the studs, I know the height, and that's all I need. 31, 48 high. So I got my 32, my 16, the 9-foot high cut. So I'm gonna cut 1 foot off. These are 10-foot boards. 48 high, 31, boom. Glue it up, rock it up. All right, so a lot of spackling is about how you actually load your knife with spackle. Most people would just dip in and get a big glob, and when you put it on the wall, it's gonna start rolling over the side edges and get everywhere. Obviously, there's a technique to that. So this is a regular rolled edge joint. We need to fill that joint with mud and then apply some tape. So what I do, and it works really well, is to load the corner of your knife. So I work into the corner of the tray and come out, and I have what looks like that. Nice on the corner. And I'll show you why I do that. All right, so once you load the corner of your knife, you come up here and you pull down on an angle like this. So all that mud is rolling up the top of the knife, and you get a nice smooth situation. If you just dipped in like this and went down the wall, see, it rubs out all over the side and sometimes creates a mess. So just simply load the corner like this, and now when I come to the bottom, you angle it so it rolls that mud to the side of the knife that's empty. And you get a nice, even situation. So spread your mud nice and even. Now, we take our tape, and now this whole joint is covered in mud. So what you can do is just take your knife, find the middle, hold your tape in the middle, and now when you come down here, you just press it and feel for the joint. Smooth it out, come down here, and cut the tape. Now your tape's on there. Now, what a lot of people don't know is having mud on top of the tape makes it super smooth. It's basically like lubricant. If you were to just wipe this, sometimes your knife drags on the tape and it starts to stutter and get weird. If you just throw a little bit of mud on top of the tape, it acts as some lube basically and glides it nice and easy. Now the goal is to not take all of the mud out from behind the tape because we do want it to stick. So you just want to push enough to bed that tape in the mud and not to pull too much out of it. Now when you get to the bottom like this, you swipe out each direction so you don't have a ton of mud spilling out on the floor. Now we want to feather it out, get all this excess mud off the sides. Done. That's a tape joint. Pretty simple. All right, so that's a quick crash course on taping. I'm gonna hop on the scaffold. I'm gonna start up top and work on all these tops and work my way down while Junior's over here getting all the nail holes. He wanted to help me out today, which is awesome. Gave him a little crash course and he's on his way. So I'm gonna hop up on the scaffold and start working.